Do not adjust your set. This is indeed drone footage of my new boat. Hello there folks, I'm Dan Brown from sortofinteresting.com, and it's my absolute pleasure to say that today you are joining me on board good old Narrowboat Abel's Ark. I know that my ridiculous accent makes it sound like one word with a Z in the middle, but it's meant to be two words, Abel's and Ark, rather than sounding like some sort of spaceship like the Abel's Ark blasting to Jupiter. Anyway, moving swiftly on from that. Oh man, we haven't made it 30 seconds into the video. Right, distractions aside, today you're joining me for my second night on board, but I want to talk about my first day and night and show you some footage from that. I did record a very emotional video on my first night on board, which I thought that was going to be the whole video talking about yesterday on its own, but there's been that much excitement and drama today on board that I thought I would actually edit it into a longer video following yesterday and today, so my first and second days on board. For anyone who's interested, I've now got pretty much all my furniture on board. Yesterday me and my family came out. We've been doing odd jobs on the boat all week, but we fetched the sofa bed and mattress that were already on the boat and took those off, and then by the skin of our teeth managed to fit my sofa, which is only a very small one luckily, and also my mattress, which had to be wedged through the back door there. Like, you would not believe how much that mattress folded in half practically to get through that door. Folded in half is a massive over exaggeration, but we got it on, and then that was it. I'm more than happy. Where I've been living on dry land, my humble little flat is almost entirely empty now. I may spend tomorrow night there. Just well, I'll have to sleep on an airbed for a start, but I might need to just stay overnight to get the last bits of me furniture and all of me clothes and pots and pans and paperwork and things like that. I've got all me writing notes and all me notebooks there, so I need to try and put those in some sort of order before moving them, because it's just going to be absolute mayhem otherwise. But basically, this is being recorded on a Monday, and on Friday, that's it. I am officially handing the keys back. I have no residence and no bed on dry land, and I am on board full time. So yeah, it's been an absolutely fantastic couple of days, and there's been plenty of moments where I've looked around me thinking, I cannot believe that this is happening. I can't believe that I'm actually back out here. And well, I suppose, without further ado, let's start showing you some footage on the screen and talk you through what's been going on. So yesterday, after we got the furniture on board, we did the grand maiden voyage of Narrowboat Abel's Ark under the stewardship of me, Dan Brown. And honestly, talk about an underwhelming trip. We literally went from the marina, Blackwater Meadow Marina at Ellesmere, through one bridge, around one corner, past the services at Ellesmere, and then a few hundred feet down the canal. So it was literally about a 5-minute trip or so. So I just wanted to come out and just spend the night, really spend my first night on board, moored up at almost exactly the same place, well, pretty much exactly the same place that I used to have as sort of my spot at Ellesmere when I'd be passing this way on my old Narrowboat Tilly. And when I think about the 4 years I spent on Tilly, I probably spent a couple of months of that time moored up in the exact area that we're currently moored in now, and it's where some of my friends first came out and saw the boat and stuff. So again, it's fantastic to be able to literally 2 years after leaving Narrowboat life rejoin Narrowboat life almost exactly where I left off, in the most literal geographic sense. So again, it's been absolutely fantastic, and as I say, the maiden voyage wasn't a grand trip, but it was definitely an education. I'm used to a very lightweight 30-foot Springer narrowboat that I drove around for 4 years, and then coming to a 45-foot boat with a flat bottom that seems far heavier in the water, far more sturdy and stable, and also a lot less responsive, I'll say that. So even though I feel like it's not so volatile in terms of being blown off course and waving all over the place, I also noticed that compared to my old boat, you can't just turn the tiller and suddenly have the boat zip across the canal in one direction or another. But that was good fun. It was definitely tense trying to get out of the marina, I'll say that for certain. So yeah, then moored up, and me and my granddad stayed on board and did a little bit of painting and stuff. And then the most bizarre thing happened, that I just walked down the boat and through the front glass panel saw a peacock, of all the animals, of all the birds, this great big peacock, proper, all the fancy colourful feathers and all that sort of stuff, just wandering down the towpath as if it was the most normal thing ever. And it was just like, what on earth is that? And my reaction to seeing it was so sort of surprised in the tone of my voice that my granddad looks up and like, what? And thought that there was like something wrong with the boat or something bad was going on. And I was like, oh, there's a peacock out there. And anyway, it came and had a look through the windows, had a nose at the boat, and then flew over to the other side of the canal. I've been told that it's been here for over a year or so, and disappears and then comes back, and has been making its home just on the other side of the canal here. So I'll keep my eyes open and see if it returns. But that was certainly a nice little moment of excitement on my, literally a few hours into my new boat life. So my granddad then left, and I was on board on my own for the evening and then the night, and I was just tinkering around and just pottering really, finding a home and trying to figure out how the cupboards were going to be set up and what I could store where, and basically getting everything in some sort of order, so that then when the rest of my stuff, and again, it's not like I've got loads of stuff, like I say, just notebooks and toiletries and a bit of kitchen stuff still to come out, all sorts of odds and ends, which doesn't seem like much individually, but when you've got a whole land life's worth of them that need to be condensed down to a boat life's worth of them, it seems to be an awful lot more stuff. So basically I had my evening just pottering and just investigating and figuring out different things on the boat. And then as the evening started to draw into a proper night, honestly, just being sat on board and listening to me audiobooks at exactly the same spot that I used to moor back in the old days, seeing the sun setting over there, and then that side of the canal all being lit up in the orangey yellow glow of the sunset light. It was just fantastic. I can't tell you how nice it was, honestly. And again, it starts to get really peaceful and really quiet, and the canal's dead still, and then the moon rose up over there, and again, just absolutely beautiful stuff that, again, I suppose so much of yesterday just really reminded me why I loved narrowboat life back in the old days. And again, it's not like, I've said it before, like, land life's absolutely fine, you got no problem with that. I find it far easier living on land than I did on Narrowboat Tilly, but of course there's a lot to say about Narrowboat Tilly, and a lot that I did say about Narrowboat Tilly being an extremely bare bones and basic boat that I used to live on. Check my hundreds of previous boat life videos on my other boat back in the old days if you want to see more of that, or check out my books, plugs coming later. But anyway, it's... Ignore anything I was going to say, it was just fantastic. And you know what, I was fiddling around with like some of my LED light strips and stuff, seeing where I could fit them on the boat, and figuring out just different setups that I could have to make it the most calm, relaxing environment inside, to try and match just how calm and quiet and beautiful it is outside. And honestly, it was just great being on the boat. As I say, audiobooks playing is pretty much the only sound around, apart from some cows in the field over there that I think I could hear rustling, unless it was some other mysterious creature. Ooh. It was very dark. Why do I say these things? But no, in all seriousness, I cannot tell you how nice it was. And going through and getting in bed last night, and honestly, the light from the fire flickering goes straight down the side of the boat, down the little alley next to the bathroom that's at the back of the camera here. And it just is just bright enough to flicker and light up with the orange flamed glow of the, well, again, beautiful roaring fireplace. But just enough light coming out to flicker on the back wall that's at the foot of my bed over at the far side of the boat. and honestly it was just amazing. It was so nice and so calm, and you could hear the odd crackle coming from the fire. Absolutely beautiful. And if I stuck my head over the side of my bed, I could look up and I could see it glowing. And again, it was just one of those moments where it's like, flipping heck, as much as I've loved land life and it's still been nice and fun and I've done lots of outdoors stuff while I've been on land, this is just so nice and I'm so glad to be back. So anyway, that was my first night. Probably one of the best night's sleep that I've had for a very long time, as I've been so worked up and stressed about getting the boat and all of that sort of stuff, and then making sure that the money was actually turning up in the correct accounts when I was buying it and all that. And again, I think just over the last few weeks, last couple of months maybe, I've been so worried and so stressed as I've been trying to find boats and couldn't find anything and all the rest of it, that just actually finally having the reality set in and being able to just relax that brief moment and being like, oh, I'm on board, it's all good. I've got the boat, and now all of the different things that need doing on board and all the problems that have arisen today can start getting done and making it into a fully functioning home. So yeah, I woke up this morning, again, beautiful moment to wake up and be like, wow, I'm on the boat and I'm in my original proper full-size double bed, and oh, it's great stuff. So anyway, started tidying up and started doing just little odd jobs, like things like cutting down the, I can't actually get either of them properly into shots, but just things like these, what are they called? The chain things that you use to raise and lower the blinds, the blind cords, whatever it's called. It's like things like that that were the full length, as if you'd have it that length in a house. So obviously on a boat, they're hanging practically down to the floor. So again, just simple things like that, little odd jobs that need doing on board. So I was going around that. I'd started up the engine and everything was going well, and then I heard a beeping sound and I was like, uh-oh, what's this beeping sound? So I ran out and switched the engine off, and it didn't seem to be any issue with the engine itself, and I can still hear this beeping, and I'm thinking, uh-oh, I don't like this. I quickly come back in to see the place filling up with sort of a black, bluey smoke and a real sort of plasticky burning smell, and realised that the inverter is just bellowing out smoke and giving out this high-pitched beeping whir sound, and the fans in it going absolutely wild. I'm in absolute panic. I switch it off and disconnect what I can, and I'm literally there ready to unscrew it from the wall with a screwdriver and throw it over into the field if it sets on fire. And luckily that didn't happen, but it does seem that, I don't know if it was having the engine running, and because I don't really know exactly what on earth I'm looking at with these electronic things. I'm more familiar with the inside of computers and things like that when it comes to electronics, rather than the actual proper electronics and electrical systems that operate what you plug the computer into, for example. So unfortunately, my power sockets in the walls that I could obviously plug in things like my laptop and my phone and cameras and stuff like that to charge, none of those seem to work, so I've kept that completely disconnected now. And that looks like it's going to have to be replaced. So that was a sad, bad blow. Luckily, things like the lights and all that. Oh yeah, sorry for the strange lighting conditions. I'm still figuring out the best way to set up, and I need to put some new LEDs into the ceiling lights as well. I've got a really bright light operating here. I've got a really good light built in just above where my pillows are on my bed. But the lights in the roof seem a little bit dim for my liking, especially when one of the brightest lights, I don't know if you can see really how bright that is, but that's running off the same stuff that things like the water pump and these lights are running off. So luckily I've still got those being powered, minus the inverter, but obviously now that's another job that needs sorting. Then again today, the water pump has been a bit iffy and a bit dodgy. There was an issue in the bathroom when one of the pipes burst off the bottom of the sink. So that was not ideal, having water gushing out of the cupboard. But again, this is what this first... I mean, I'm going to stay in the marina for the first month at least, while I figure out what needs doing on board and getting these odd jobs done. So obviously some of the plumbing needs to look at. And the water pump It didn't seem quite right to begin with, but it at least was bellowing out water properly from the taps. And the shower on this compared to Narrowboat Tilly is amazing. This is like a real shower, a very miniature shower, but a real shower all the same. So obviously that needs sorting. Oh yeah, that was it. The pump seems to have completely stopped working now though. I couldn't get any water to come out through the taps, but as soon as you put power through to the pump at the minute, it just constantly is pumping as if it's bellowing water out somewhere that we can't see. But we'll deal with that all in good time. So yeah, a few things to to stress me out and to worry me today, I've got to say. But ultimately, it's all stuff that tomorrow I'll be taking back into the marina. I'll say, right, I've got a good list of jobs for you. I need this, this, and this doing. I will be ordering an oven as well. I would have ordered one today, but there's so much going on that I didn't get a chance to. And basically, the 2 hobs that are on the boat originally will be taken out, and a little oven with a oven, grill, and 2 hobs will be put in its place. So that'll hopefully be a nice, simple job to do. And obviously, again, I'll have somebody proper look at it and make sure the gas is safe and all that. So yeah, there's plenty to do. But honestly, today, it's been another great day. Varying weather conditions. Me and my granddad have been on board for a good few hours doing a lot of painting. So the bedroom's almost finished, and then we're going to slowly work up through the boat to the stern door there. The outside paint I'll worry about at a future date, because I consider that the paintwork on the outside, it's the only important stuff is the below the waterline stuff. The waterline and below is my main concern outside. And then get into the top half of the outside, that's more vanity, whereas the interior and below the waterline, that's reality. To try and paraphrase a Duncan Bannatyne slogan there, I think he says something like "sales are vanity, profits reality," or something like that. Anyway, that's a very bizarre distraction to get into. Me and my granddad had a good day painting. The weather was like, oh, it was windy and freezing, then it was beautiful sun and all that. And then my dad and my sister came out, and we had a little trip, only about 20 minutes or so, just to take the boat down to the nearest turning point. My first attempt at turning, total disaster. Ended up having to just basically wedge the front of the boat up against the canal bank in the turning point where it's all like silted up, and then use that as a pivot to then power the back of the boat around the front, and then use the force of the water to let it just start to push us back in the direction we actually wanted to be heading. So we won't talk too much about that, but hopefully you're seeing some absolutely beautiful sunny canal footage on your screen any moment now. So that was great fun. It was good to see my sister's reaction, because we'd kept it a secret that I'd bought a boat and had moved back onto a boat, because she used to love Narrowboat Tilly. So my dad fetched her out, so it was just a nice walk down the canal, and then suddenly she's looking at the pictures on the side of Abel's Ark, and then I'm just there with my face in the window that she gets to, and there's this moment like, it's Dan's on the boat! Again, lovely stuff. This evening after they'd gone, it's been again just a nice beautiful clear sky, loads of stars about. I've had a quick walk down to the supermarket that's just at the end of the canal here at Ellesmere, stocked up on a few bits that I'd forgotten to fetch out with me, such as a toothbrush and some toothpaste. So again, it's just, as I say, it's just a case of settling in now, getting everything I need on board, figuring out the odd jobs that need doing, and then at some point getting us out of the water to see what's going on down there. At the very least, it'll be being blacked, and worst case scenario, we're going to be seeing an awful lot of money disappear to things like overplating and putting new steel on. So again, even though I managed to get this boat for an excellent price, engine's literally still got less than 40 hours runtime on it, so that really is a brand new engine in there, like 10 grand in there. And I mean, I've got the receipts and I've got the paperwork from the previous owners, and it literally was about 500 odd quid for one set of work going on in the engine bay, and then over £9,000 for the engine and the work and installation. So again, that's almost half of the value of the boat underneath the deck boards out in the engine bay there. So even though I got this boat for a great price, for, in my opinion at least, again, there still could be an awful lot more money to spend when we get this boat out of the water. To be honest, there's a part of me that's absolutely dreading it, because I'm going to see my bank account absolutely hammered. I mean, not as if it hasn't taken absolute hammering today, where I've just paid another 780 quid, I think, something in that region, for my boat licence for the year. So we've had the boat purchase, boat licence and insurance all within a week of each other, or I don't know, 8 or 9 days maximum. So again, it's an expensive time, but it's got to be done, and that's the way that you look at it. It's like, in an ideal world, obviously everything would be fine with the boat and it'd be still in good condition under the waterline, but ultimately I've just got to brace myself, and I've got to approach the next few months as I try and save money, along with trying to learn to drive and get in a car. Expenses, I am absolutely bleeding money everywhere I look at the minute. Every single thing I look at on the boat is like, oh, new inverter, money. New or something to do with the water pump, money. And everything looks like, okay, money, money, money. Cars and all that stuff. Like I say, I haven't even learned to drive yet. I know I'm 31, please forgive me. Again, driving lessons, money. Car, money. Road tax and insurance, oh, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Let me worry about that another time. But yeah, like I say, even though there's so much to do and so many things that are concerns that I've got about the boat, and things that I know need to be sorted and need to be seen to, I honestly can't tell you, like, just these moments, like, just this now. I've got me writing desk that the camera's on, I've got me little sofa here, got the fire going in the background, and honestly, I can't explain to you, writing my little diaries. I've started a brand new little moleskin notebook, just a card-backed one, as my little diary now, which I started last night, and that's entirely started for the sake of, well, I moved into boat life, and this is the new Narrowboat diary that I'm doing. But yeah, honestly, it's, when I look at things, as I say, and just being on board now in the evening and being here, fire crackling away in the background, well, it's not doing much crackling to be fair, it's just perfect. It's just so nice to be back. And I think that ultimately seeing stuff like today, like my sister and my dad, and obviously all my family's been out to it. I've got more friends coming out to visit and have little boat trips tomorrow. It's just so good. And seeing their reactions to this boat compared to Narrowboat Tilly, where on Tilly it was a hard life, to be fair. It was a very active life. It was very rough and ready with very minimal comfort on board. Whereas here, it's like I've got my full-size double mattress from home. Well, this is my home now, but from my old flat on dry land. And again, no more making up a sofa bed every day and night like on Narrowboat Tilly. When I think about it, it was an awesome time living on Tilly, but when I think, it was madness. It was absolute madness that I managed to sleep like for I slept for over 1,000 nights of my life on a tiny 30-foot narrowboat with 15 foot of indoor space, in a sleeping bag most often, or just under some blankets, right on top of a homemade fire that the previous owners had put in, on a sofa bed. When I think that was my life for 4 years, I mean, I'm so glad that I did it, because it sort of has taught me an awful lot about creature comforts and what I need to be happy in life. But just having this little bit more room to actually have proper stuff on board, and having proper electricals, or at least hopefully when it's fixed, having proper electric sockets that I can charge from without me little solar panel thing and me battery packs and stuff like that. It's just fantastic being on this boat. I absolutely love it. Honestly, I can't tell you how nice it's been over these last couple of nights. but over the last night and this evening, I'm trying to keep my voice in a correct, non-too emotional tone, but I'm not doing well, my friends. Oh man. Right, let's just give me a moment and then I'll wrap this video up. So my friends, sorry about that, you nearly lost me to a teary-eyed, crackly voice Dan Brown there, but I'm relatively recovered now. It's just great, it's just overwhelming to be back on the canals, and I think, as I say, mooring up in exactly the same spot that I used to moor up with Tilly, it does feel almost as if the last 2 years never happened, and I've picked up exactly where I left off, and it's just fantastic to be back. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in if you've made it all the way in this video. Sorry that it's gone on for so long. I hope there's been some decent footage on screen at least for a lot of this video rather than just looking at this. But yeah, if you'd like to help me out, then please do consider checking out my short Kindle books available on Amazon. You'll find links in the description, or if you head to narrowboatbooks.com, then that'll take you straight to my Amazon page. And of course, speaking of books, you can also get a collection of some of my short Kindle books in this handy paperback volume, also available from my page on Amazon. Again, narrowboatbooks.com will take you straight there, or if you just search for My Narrowboat Life from beginning to end. As I now am living back on a boat, admittedly that needs a question mark on the end, but this is my narrowboat life on board Narrowboat Tilly from beginning to end, and it's just a few of my, I don't know how many, I think it might be 5 or 6, maybe even 7 of my previous Kindle books, all just put together as one handy volume here. So please do, it really, at this time more than any other, I honestly can't tell you how much people's generosity and, again, people actually buying my books and helping spread the word about them, it really means a huge amount, both emotionally and in terms of my basic idea of, wow, people actually read my books, but also in just a very practical way, as I've got money disappearing left, right and centre, as I say. So thank you so much for everyone who's been reading and spreading the word and posting about it and posting pictures when their books arrived on Facebook and that. I can't tell you how much. I mean, that's just, I'll do a video about that at some point, but that literally has brought me to tears many times over the last few months. But yeah, thank you for absolutely everything, my friends. If you want to add me on things like Facebook and Snapchat and Twitter and Instagram, where I post loads of boaty things and canal scenery, then please do feel free. You'll find links to all that in the description below. But until the next time, my friends, just have an absolutely fantastic day, as I say, and as I am absolutely over the moon to be able to say once again, have an absolutely fantastic day. Keep it interesting. Keep it boat-worthy. I'll never get sick of saying that again. And of course, my friends, farewell. Have an absolutely great day, my friends.